Hello there, YouTubers. I'm starting another weaving project today, or starting the second half of it is another way to put it. What I'm planning on making is a pair of suspenders. For the folks in Britain, I think they're called braces. But anyways, I think of it as suspenders. And for that I need some strapping, or straps to go over the shoulder. And this is what I'm going to be making. I'll hold it up nice and close. You can see this is just a strap that I have made on my Inkle Loom. Inkle Loom. If you've not heard of an Inkle Loom before, it's you can look it up on the internet. It's spelled I-N-K-L-E, Inkle Loom. Okay, and it's basically a loom with which you can make long, narrow straps of cloth. And what I'm planning on using here for this is what's called carpet warp. So if you've ever seen someone selling rag rugs, they've got narrower threads going the long way of the rug and heavy bits of rag, strips of cloth that are about an inch wide that they use the wide way of the rug. Okay, so, or across the rug as the weft. So what I need to do is make a warp on my Inkle Loom using carpet warp as the thread, and it's going to be in the same pattern that I've got right here, and that's going to be some black along the edges, then some couple reds, then two different shades of blue, back to red, and some more black. And my weft on this will be all black as well. So what I'm going to do is move the camera enough so I can get it up to where you can see what I'm doing as I warp this loom, and we'll start to set up the loom to make another strap like this. Alright, here's my Inkle Loom. It's sitting on this wooden stool here, and you can basically see it's just a couple of boards with a number of large wooden pegs or dowels on it. So what I'm going to do to start this is to grab my first bit of thread, and I've got it sitting on a little spooling device here to where I can just pull on the thread like this and unwind it. And that's setting just off out of where you can, out of the range where you can see it. But what I'm doing first is just tying a quick knot in the end. Now to warp the Inkle Loom, I've got these little wooden pegs or pins that I stick into some holes that I drilled into the end of the loom. So I'm going to start out by going around the outside of the loom and just warping it like this, and coming down like that. So that's once around. Now we'll go around again. But this time we go over the top of this one here, and I need to put a heddle on. Now, for those of you who remember my other loom, heddle is what I thread things through so I can go up and down. And it does the same thing here. It allows me to bring this thread and move it. So let's go for the next time around. This is a non-heddle thread. And now we'll put on the next one that gets a heddle. And there we go, heddle. So that's the beginning of this process with the black. I'll keep going with the black, turning the camera off, and as soon as I get done with the black and start to switch to the red, I will turn it back on again. Or maybe I'll just leave it on and speed this up as I do the video editing. I think that might even be easier. There, now I've got all of the black threads on that I need for one side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and wrap this black thread around this pin at the end. You can almost think of this as a belaying pin on an old sailing ship. Then my next color is going to be red. Again, the way I do a heddle is I open it up like this. It's much longer than I need. I slip it over this post right here, underneath the top thread, and I fold it back. So there's two of red. Now we're going to do this blue. So here we go. We'll tie a little slip knot in the end of the blue one. And we're doing only one time around with this doubling blues. Here's where things get even more interesting. I need to run two colors at the same time. So I'm going to take a little bit of this light blue, and this is going to be the non-heddle part. And I want to do 9 layers of this. So for this one, instead of having it unwinding over here on the winder, I'm going to do it a slightly different way, just because it's easier on my hands. Now we take the dark blue and run it around on the side that's going to have the heddle. Are you paying attention to this? I know it's getting complicated, huh? So do that, and by alternating the light blue and the dark blue is how, when we get to the strap, you can see there's alternating light and dark blue there. That's how I'm doing it here, by alternating the light and the dark blue. So now I've just done a dark blue, and I pull the tension on it a little bit. Now I'm going to do a light blue again. Okay, I think you can kind of see the idea of how I'm getting these onto the loom. I hope you can see it. Let's take one more go with the dark blue, and then I will turn the camera off and finish this up till we're just about to the end of this, okay? There we are. I'll keep going off camera and show it to you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, you can see that I've got a number of threads on here, and I don't know if you can exactly see what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to hope you can. I removed this belaying pin, if you will, set it aside, and I find the two ends of the black thread. So that's really, for each of the colors that I've got, I just keep winding around. So it's really only one thread wound around and around and around and around and around. So now what I'm going to do is just tie a knot in the first color. And just tie both ends together. The ones that are at this side, the ones that are at this side, and all the way around in between. And the only hard part is, I can't stick my own finger. I don't have enough fingers to stick it in and hold the tension really tight like I'd like to. But you'll get the idea. There we are. That's the first one. Pretty well tied off. Put a couple more half knots in there and grab the scissors, snip that off. Now we'll do the same thing with the red. We'll take the red and put a little knot into it. I have a hardest time tying the simplest knots, but loop around and we'll snip off the excess of the red. And we do the same thing with the light blue, or the dark blue actually. That's the one I happen to grab next. So there we are, we've got the dark blue that we're tying. So again, you get the idea. I'm just tying these all off, tying the two ends of the warp together. And what that gives me is a complete set of warp threads all the way around the loom in the colors that I want. And that's really all there is to this. Now I can consider that this loom is fully warped. And I will cut off the excess of the light blue and the dark blue. So this doesn't look like much right now, I'll grant you that. But hopefully you can see that that I can pull up and down and the head will stay in the same position. So now all I got to do is start weaving. And to do that, I'm going to take my shuttle and I'm going to go down, go in between there. The first one or two are really kind of difficult ones to do. They're not too bad, but they just, so I double weft the first one or two. And I need my little beater thing, but I can get along without it. Okay, so now we'll go this way. And then we'll go across, go up, and beat that in. And then go down. And there you go. That's how I'm going to start the weaving. And now I've got about 8 feet worth of weaving to do. So, okay, I've been working on this Inkle Loom on the strap for a couple of days now. Just, you know, a little bit here and there. I'm not working real steady at this. But you can see, hopefully I can put my hand in the point. Starting here is where I've woven. And then going down to the bottom, back and forth, and I'm pretty well close to done. I'm up to here. Now the path we're going to follow is this, and around this bar, and I don't know if you can see it, and it's going to come up this way and around the top, and probably about here I'll stop working. But that's the path that I'm following. I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod and start weaving again and show you what I'm doing. Started it, and I loosened the tension on this bar right here, which can slide forward and backwards. And I did that just so I can advance the warp. Let's keep it over here. Now I go under and I grab the top warp because I'm going to pull it toward me, and I grab one of the bottom ones that I can push away, and I can just slide the entire thing. I hope you could see that. Now I can just slide the heddles back a little bit. I'll tighten the tension on this again, back up. Usually I pull it against myself too. And then I'll turn that just a little bit. So now I can go back through and start weaving again. That's through the process of inkle weaving. And I just keep doing this back and forth. Again, you can see now I've got the blue on top. Push it down. We're going to get the dark blue on top instead of the light. Dark blue being run through. And I keep doing this until I've gone all the way the length of the warp. And remember, this is a continuous warp, so it's just one huge loop on the loom. And I just keep sliding it forward. Okay, I'm getting very close to the end here. I'm going to advance my warp one last time. And if you can see right here, the woven part has now made it around the last of the dowels that I'm working with. So we'll weave just a few more shots back and forth, and then we'll cut this guy right off of here and start to turn it into a pair of suspenders. So this basically, the Inkle Loom is, again, it's made for doing straps or long thin bands of one sort or another. And you can see that That's really what I'm accomplishing here. And again, the goal of this whole project is going to be a pair of suspenders. So you can see right here that I've got a woven part, and you can see back here that I've got a woven part at the top. So where's my scissors? There we are. What I'm going to do is loosen the tension just a little bit. Drag this up to here. And then the way we take it off is this. We take the scissors and snip. Then at this end we pull everything out of the heddles. And take the heddles off, set them aside. And what I've got here then, just as I told you I'd have, is a long thin strip that I will turn into a pair of suspenders. Well, this project of making the suspenders is finally done, and as proof of that, I'm wearing my new suspenders. So we put those little leather button-on things on to where they button onto my pants. But I now have a pair of non-elastic suspenders to wear with my period clothes when I'm interpreting the print shop at Heritage Hill. So there's the Inkle Loom project, well and truly finished. As you can see, suspenders definitely are the ones that were on the Inkle Loom. And I'm happy that they worked. So if you like my videos, I would very much appreciate if you'd subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.